For first-time home buyers, here's what I want to know. Is it better of someone who wants to buy a home to come with all of their paperwork for pre-approval taken care of, or is that something you help people with? Should that be prepared like a pre-qualification, pre-approval? Do you go to the realtor first, or do you go to like a lender?
Well, I think personally, I think it's better if they go to the realtor first, because the realtor has lenders that they work with often that are often local lenders. But anybody can go with any lender they want. So if someone comes to me and they say, oh, I want a loan with the credit union, then I'll talk to them about that. But if they don't have a lender or want options, I have like 3 to 4 great lenders that are local, and they're going to get the deal done too. They work with the buyer, and they your first pre-qualification, it's usually like a 10 or 15 minute phone call, and then they can give you basically a price range to look in, and then for pre-approval they can dig a little deeper. They go into they will get your W-2s and your tax records and your tax statements, things like that.
So how do you know if it's a good time when it's a good time to buy? If you've been renting forever, why would somebody then buy instead?
Now, I mean, the rental prices are going up so much that sometimes the rental prices can be higher than your mortgage as well. So I would say, they say a good time to buy was yesterday or 5 years ago. So if you feel ready, if you do have enough for closing costs and a down payment, it used to be about 3 to 5% for a first-time home buyer. Now you need a little more for your due diligence. You need some cash up front, and also for closing costs. So that's another thing you'd want to talk to with the lender and the realtor, how much you need to close and how much money down. And a lot of people base their decision on their price range, not like, oh, I want to buy a house for $350.
Right.
They base it on their monthly payment. Because your monthly payment is going to depend on how much you put down. And that helps, because if you already know, oh, I'm already paying $1,600 in rent, then I want to keep my monthly payment $1,600. Maybe I can do $1,800 now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then that targets you right in the price range that you should be in.
I always heard the general rule of thumb was like, if you plan on staying in a location 5 or more years, I thought it was, then it makes sense to buy. Does that sound right?
Well, I think they used to think that people would stay in houses for at least 7 years, and then, that was the range, 5 to 7 years they would move. I would say younger people, if they're changing jobs more often, they might move more. But once you settle down and you're going to be probably 2 to 3 years even. People are moving every 3 years and still making their money back. For sure. I mean, some people, their money or their equity in their home just went up about 20%.
Wow.
In this last 6 months.
Wow. So how long?
But that was kind of a fluke. That doesn't happen that often.
Right
now.
How long does nowadays the whole home buying process take, really?
Once you have your your pre-approval, you definitely don't want to start without a pre-approval, because you don't want to look at houses that are more than your means. You don't want to go into a higher price range. So meeting with the lender, you don't even have to meet with them in person. You can do it virtually or on the phone.
That's nice.
And that's just a phone call or so, and maybe a day, and then start looking having a realtor that helps you research properties you want. I guess narrowing down the properties in the area that you want. About 3 months, but it's getting shorter. It used to be 3 months, but now sellers are looking often for like a 30-day close. So once you get started, you might need to promise them a 30-day close. So it could be as short as 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow, that's pretty quick.
It is quick.
Because I think sometimes people think like buying a home, and you can turn left, by the way, the next light, not this one. This one. I think that people think buying a home is such a huge process. Like, I have to have everything together. It's going to require so much of me. But I don't think that that's really necessarily the case anymore.
No, it's not. It's really just to get started is a phone call and a short review of questions to determine where you are as far as your income versus your debt, and what price range you should stay in, and if it's even a good time for you to buy or not. And And then everything's so digital now. Like even with lenders, you can, they have all these online portals, and you just send them all your documents online.
True. That's nice.
So that's pretty seamless there. It's just gather, if you're more organized and you have all your documents together, like your, you know, your W-2s, and if you've changed jobs a few times, and then they need to go back a couple of years.
That's true.
So that can be a little more challenging.